Welcome to the Tennishackery podcast. This is the place where we discuss all things about tennis that's related to technology, fitness, and the brain game. My name is Tarun, and today we have Soham and myself. We are a group of extremely passionate San Francisco Bay Area-based tennis geeks slash coaches. Uh, our third partner in crime, Alex, couldn't join us today, so it's just the two of us. Um, so please follow us on our socials. It's at Tennishackery with a Y on Instagram, X, which used to be Twitter, Meta, YouTube, and Spotify. Our website is still under construction. I guess we all took a summer break, so the IT guy is slacking off. Anyways, so it will be up soon, and we will be getting on the rest of the podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts soon. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and do leave us reviews and interact with us in all these platforms. We really need to grow to at least 500 subscribers before we get on TikTok and do the TikTok dance. All right. Without further ado, let's get started with episode 9. Hey, Soham, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, and it was a pleasure to play a little bit of doubles with you last night.
Yep. That
That
was
was
fun.
fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Yep.
In
Yeah.
the spirit of Wimbledon,
Yep.
which has basically been the last week and a half,
Yep.
almost Wimbledon.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of tennis going around here now with USTA leagues happening, playoffs
Yep.
happening, tournaments. It's summertime, right? It's like
Yep. Yep.
the main time for tennis.
Yep.
So it's been fun, and
Yep.
I'm excited about this episode um, because the last episode was a lot of fun. I spoke a little bit about the French Open, where I visited Nadal,
Yep.
Alcaraz, and Iga. So looking forward to this Wimbledon episode.
Oh,
So
yes.
right off the bat, since our main focus is going to be on Wimbledon grass court,
Yep.
um, what's what does Wimbledon mean to you, Tarun? And what's have you been there? Have you visited? Have you played on grass court? You want to share a little bit with us?
Never. I have never been to Wimbledon, never played on grass. But it was one of the slams growing up, you would watch and it was always like marketed packaged as, the greatest slams. It had all the British royal ceremonies associated with it, players wearing whites and having all the all the decorum and the customs of Wimbledon. That was so amazing to watch. You wouldn't, it was very unique. And some of the you would get to watch some very good tennis like during the July months. Some of the top players, like typically you would see the top 3 4 players would, like, it correlates with being Wimbledon champions. That's, at least growing up, that's what I used to believe, that, oh, you be a Wimbledon champion, if you're a Wimbledon champion, you are probably world number one, kind of thing. So it was some of the earliest childhood memories of watching tennis was Wimbledon. How about
It
you,
sure
Soham?
is. It sure is prestigious, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
before I share my experience and what Wimbledon means to me, I have a quick question for you since you mentioned this.
Hmm.
You spoke about dress code. So what is your sort of opinion on the all white versus the other slams? It doesn't have to be all white. You can wear colored clothes. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think I'm a bit divided on this. So, it has its own charm. It's
Right.
very charming, and I'm sure there were reasons for this. Like, I think it goes back to the British customs. The cricket was played in all white, so it's
Yeah.
I guess a it's like kind of a hangover from the colonial Great Britain. It's interesting thing, and I don't think they are. I think I heard Andy Roddick on one of his recent Served podcasts. He did mention that they're not, they like it as a tradition, but I don't think they enforce it. They don't, I don't think they enforce it. So the people, the players who play there with these whites, they respect those traditions. They're just going with it. I think, yeah, I don't see any reason to kind of say that, oh, why are they forcing it on people?
No, I agree, and
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to Andy Roddick. He's been doing
Yeah.
a fantastic job
Oh, Mike.
podcast. If you're lucky and fortunate in the future, maybe we can invite him to our show,
Oh,
or we
yes.
show that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Hey,
So
Andy, if you're listening.
exactly. We're eager to
Yeah.
collaborate.
Yep.
But coming back to the question you were asking me about my, what
Yep.
Wimbledon means to me, similar to you, like that was always the growing up. I didn't always get to play tennis out on the court, but summer was like, okay, when's Wimbledon? It's going to be on TV. I grew up in India. And it was in the evenings, and I used to keep my evenings free because it's like, okay, I got to watch Wimbledon till I go to sleep, right? It was like
Yeah.
great timing actually.
Yeah.
So Wimbledon has a lot of memories for me, lots of great matches. But I actually was fortunate enough when I was visiting UK that I went to Wimbledon. But the only
Nice.
difference was it was not during the Wimbledon
Hmm.
when the competition is on.
Hmm.
It was actually in December. But
Okay.
I was lucky to get a tour of Wimbledon. It's something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to center court
Hmm.
and the lush green, and it uh just standing there uh with a few people, tourists around, felt you know felt like you were in some other space.
Yeah. Yeah. Surreal.
Like
Yeah.
it was exactly, it was
Yeah.
surreal. It was a
Yeah.
fantastic experience. I got
Yeah.
to see the changing rooms, the locker rooms.
Nice.
I got a
Mm.
you know we were taken to the press conference room. I remember getting a picture when I was like sitting there
Mhm.
as if I was talking like the players were at the press conference
Yeah.
box. And the Henman Hill, and now I think there is some Murray
Yep.
uh, Hill or whatever there too. Didn't exactly get a chance to um, taste some strawberries and cream. I would love to. I was there, but one day I do hope to be there
Yep.
during actual competition
Yep.
event. And yeah, I mean, that green, that thing, grass court tennis is very different, right?
Yep.
And we all look. So I got one other thing I'll add is as a kid, I was fortunate to play a little bit on grass.
Yeah. Mm.
So where I grew up in India, they had like six clayish courts and
Mhm.
two grass courts, but they're hard
Nice.
to maintain.
Yep.
So they turned those grass courts over time into hard courts because it's much easier to
Yeah.
maintain hard courts. But I got a little bit of an opportunity to play on grass, and it's very, very, very different,
Yeah.
right? The ball skids.
Mm.
Uh, you know, if you have a serve and volley game, it's really good. A big serve and
Yeah.
a good net game, it's really helpful. Those slices, it keeps low. um, and it's very different. I wish there
Yeah.
were more grass court tennis around here, but
Yeah.
I understand that there is a cost to maintain
Yep.
grass, and it's not easy. So yeah, I've had some, and of course had seen some incredible matches. So I
Yeah.
think it's a nice way
Yeah.
segue to the next
Yep.
sort of talking point is,
Yep.
tell me about some of the great matches, the memories you have
Yep.
watching some of these amazing matches on TV.
Yeah. I will. My personal favorite is I would definitely say the Federer versus Sampras match. The arrival of Federer. So
Yep.
I was, I was just following the sport, like just follow the drama. It was like almost like drama watching on TV. I did not know much about the nuances of the sport, and I
Right.
was I was a Sampras fan, and then I see this guy coming. I said, "Who's this punk? Who's like wearing his like who is this punk? I think Sampras is going to take him out easily, and he just another title." But that match we could see the talent. Like he was literally out hitting Sampras, and we always knew that Sampras, he had a great forehand backhand, backhand by international standards, by world class standards. But here was a guy, Federer. When challenged on the backhand wing, right? When Sampras is advancing to the net, challenging the Federer backhand, and Federer had all the answers. He would pass down the line, he would pass cross court. He had all the answers, serves, returns, everything. So it was an arrival of somebody truly special, I guess. Yeah.
I have seen this match
Yeah.
quite a lot of times. I actually saw it on
Mhm.
TV. It was
Yeah.
actually live,
Yeah.
but I've also replayed back and watched this match on YouTube.
Yeah.
I feel like I replay back and watch a lot of these matches on
Hmm.
YouTube, which
Hmm.
are mostly from Wimbledon, because there have been some
Yeah.
classics, honestly.
Yes.
So for
Yes.
me, like I've seen. I started watching tennis kind of early, so I've seen
Yeah.
like Boris Becker uh,
Nice.
on TV. I've seen like Edberg. Um, don't think I really saw John McEnroe on TV, but he was very good on grass.
Mm. Yeah.
Borg was good. They've had some battles, and think the year where I started following more tennis in general was in the early 90s.
Mm.
I think there was Michael Steek. Then there was emergence of, obviously there was Pete, who
Yeah,
was dominating for
yeah,
for
for
many.
sure.
Andre had an opportunity in the late 90s, I think 1999,
Yeah,
but he was just outplayed on grass in the finals.
yeah,
Then before, I was there was a particular tournament. Actually, there were a series of tournaments with Goran. I was a big fan
no,
of Goran back in the day. I
yeah,
really loved his personality.
yeah,
He was a charming guy.
yeah,
He was, you kind of root for that kind of character, right?
yeah,
And then was the year where he was unseeded. He came in at Wimbledon and he won it against,
yeah.
was it Pat Rafter? I think it was
Yes,
Pat.
yes, Pat Rafter in the final. Yes, it
I
was.
think he beat Henman in the semis, if I'm not
Mm,
mistaken. And
mm.
then he beat Pat Rafter in the final. And he had lost a few Wimbledon finals before.
Oh yeah, many finals to Sampras. Yeah, to Sampras
Yeah.
comes to mind. Yeah,
And I think he was like ranked number 140 or something, like 141 or something. And I was like, this guy, you really root for him to win. And
yeah,
his serves, his, general, the persona,
yeah,
and just engaging with the crowd and all of that.
yeah,
I really like that. So I was so happy that he won
yeah.
it. But Patrick Rafter, shout out to him too. He was another amazing
Amazing
basketball
volley,
player.
amazing volleyer. Yeah,
Great
yeah.
volleys, great volleys. Yeah.
You
There was
know,
a match I
yeah,
remember. I think it might have been that time when uh, Goran won against Rafter. I think in the semis or something. Pat Rafter, I think, beat Agassi, and I was a
yeah.
big Andre
Oh
fan.
yes, it was a battle of the styles. I think that match.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that whole Wimbledon
yeah,
was special, and then of
yeah,
course there was Pete dominating for many years, and then came Roger,
yep.
right? And then of course, I'm a big fan of Rafa, as you guys already know from my previous episode when I
Yeah,
spoke about
yeah.
him. Uh, Nadal and Fed, the classic match that I watched probably the most amount of times. It's the 2008 final,
Yeah,
right?
2008 final. Yep, yep.
That was something special. In fact, I think before that, there was another. I completely forgot, so my apologies. Andy Roddick.
Yep.
Now
Armand Roddick. Yep.
we mentioned him on this episode. We have to mention him when it comes to grass court tennis.
Yes.
Andy Roddick should have won a Wimbledon title.
He would have won at least two or three, man. I think, yeah, he should have
The
won at
the
least two or
one
three.
time
Yeah.
he had an opportunity against Fed. Was it Fed?
Yes. 2009, I think, right? Second set, he dumps a volley in the tiebreaker.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this was uh, this was before the Nadal Federer. Or this was after.
So the 2009 one was after the Nadal Federer, but of course he played him twice before. I think in 2004 and five semis and finals. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
between, I think Leighton Hewitt won one. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. There was
Yeah.
I think 1994. I think it was 94. Richard won one Wimbledon final.
Which guy?
Richard Krajicek. He's
Krajicek, yeah. I think that was 96. I think that
could
was
be.
one match in which he completely outplayed Sampras. There was one match I still remember, I think in Wimbledon,
He
in the
won one.
quarter. Yeah, yeah.
He had a very good serve.
Huge serve. Yeah,
But yeah, I'm just trying to track back to
yeah,
the year when Roddick really should have won.
yeah,
I feel terrible. Like,
yeah.
Andy, I'm sorry, man, if you're watching. You really deserve that Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Was there a rain delay or something in that match?
Yeah, I don't know what happened in that match. There might have been a rain delay, but everybody talks about that in the second. He won the first set in the 2009. Second set tiebreak. I think he was up like 5-2 or 6-2 or something like that, and he dumps a high forehand volley into the net. And after that, Federer like took the momentum shifted after that.
Yeah,
It
so
was quite
definitely
unfortunate for him. Yeah.
yeah, I was rooting for that guy, and I think like he worked really hard. He had the perfect game for grass.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, we mentioned Andy. Then of course, uh, in between Fed's dominance on grass, Andy Murray. You
Yep.
know the you know the
Sir
the
Andy Murray. Yep.
Sir Andy Murray. The child, like the prodigy
Yeah.
of Great Britain, right?
Yep. Yep.
I was so happy to see him. In fact, I do really like Andy Murray,
Yep.
and his timing, being there with the other three legends, is
Yep.
just so unfortunate. I'm so glad he won. I think he beat Novak in the one of the Wimbledon finals.
Yes, five-setter final. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think he has two Wimbledons. I think, and I
he
think
has two
one.
Wimbledons. Yeah, he
Yes.
has two
Yeah.
Wimbledons and one US Open, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
Yeah. I think
So
2016 he beat Raonic in the final. I think. Yeah. 2016.
I was so happy that he finally won
Yeah.
it was good to have like a Brit
Yep.
win in that the All England club. And then of course you'll be happy. I think
And
ever
you'll be
since
sad.
uh, Mr. Novak Djokovic has
Yeah.
been dominant on the surface
Yeah.
for a lot of ever since he's now won seven. Has he
Yep.
won seven?
He's won seven. He's lost two finals, and he's in his 10th final, I guess, Wimbledon. Okay.
I
Yeah. At the
think
time of recording, we are on Saturday night, so we are waiting the Sunday final, morning final. So, yep.
I want to specifically talk about Novak versus Fed because this is
Yeah.
a painful moment for a lot of Federer fans.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, Tarun, I'll let you speak because you're a Novak fan. Yeah, I know you
Yes.
appreciate his tennis
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Explain to me, explain to me what happened because I was rooting for Fed.
Yeah. The 2019. Yeah. So the
What
2019.
happened? Can you tell me a little bit more about that match between Fed and Novak that Novak
Yeah.
stole from under
Yeah,
Fed's?
it was crazy match. I think from statistically, from every stat like winners, unforced errors, number of points, aggregate points won, Federer was ahead, but it was very rare. I mean, the sets that he won. Federer won handsomely, but the sets that he lost were kind of like closely fought tiebreaker sets. I think it's really a a function of our scoring system because it's a hierarchical scoring. So you need to win each subcategory. So yes, but Federer played an amazing match. He just couldn't close it out, I guess. I mean, which is fair if you think about it, right? So my logic is in 2008, I think Federer probably should have lost in straight sets to Nadal or in four sets, but he just kept coming back.
Right.
So our scoring system allows you to do this. A match is not over until it's over. So
Speaking about scoring system and match not being over, I think it's only appropriate that we
yeah.
mention the longest Wimbledon match ever
Oh yes,
between
yes.
Nicholas Mahut and John Isner.
John Isner.
So
That was a surf fest. Yeah.
so why? I mean, I think didn't they change the rules after this match?
I think so. I'm not really
Or
sure
it
when.
triggered, it may have
Yeah, it
triggered.
may have triggered the movement to say that enough is enough. Yeah, yeah.
What was the fight? Was it 71-69?
No, I think I think it went to 80s. I think it went to 80s. I got to go back and check, but it went to 80s, 81-79 or something like that, I think. It was crazy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it happened over 3 days or something like that.
Hey, I think they are still serving probably so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was
So one of you
yeah.
know it happens a lot, and we'll come to the new generation of the Wimbledon kids,
Yeah.
but there's always been some issue with the rain delay.
Yeah.
It's the British, it's the UK weather, right?
Yep.
You can't really do much, and I think they have the closed roof now, so at least center court
Yeah.
and court number one, I think, have roofs.
Mhm.
But it's just unfortunate that a lot of the matches are they get delayed because of rain, because of sheer it's just because when the Wimbledon's happening in the
Yep.
UK. I think one of the reasons, and I was reading this somewhere, that they used to have Sundays off, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Now they actually have matches on Sunday to ensure that there is no backlog of
Yep.
matches,
Yep.
which is good for us tennis fans because we don't want to. It feels a little odd that one Grand Slam has no matches on a Sunday, the
Yep.
middle Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
it's good to see that they have made some adjustments
Yeah.
to to ensure that play still goes on even with the rain.
Yeah.
I actually wish they do that at more slams.
Yep. Hey, speaking of some of the matches, I forgot to mention some of the WTA matches in Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Uh, some of my memorable ones are Venus Williams's first slam. I think I'm not first Wimbledon. I think she beat Davenport in the final. She lost the first set, and it was a long final. And she was amazing that she was able to turn it around.
I'm glad you brought up
Yeah,
WTA.
yeah,
I was just
yeah,
getting to that.
yeah,
So no, I just want to say one really quick thing
yeah.
before we talk about WTA separately.
Hmm.
Is last year's final was great. It was good to see Carlos Alcaraz, who is supposedly or was known
Yeah,
to be a clay court specialist, is he's not. So he's been doing really well. He beat Novak. Uh, the year before, I was not happy because Nick Kyrgios had golden opportunity to beat Novak, and he kind of
yeah,
blew it because he's made for the surface, right?
yeah.
I feel. But anyway, Alcaraz did what Nick Kyrgios couldn't do the year before. He
Yeah.
won. He back. That was fantastic. Just the drop shots, slides, the athleticism. He's just so good, right?
He's amazing. Yeah.
And like you said, we are recording this Saturday night. A few hours to go before the repeat of last year's final. Um, it'll be interesting. There's history to be made if Novak wins his 25th, which would be one more than Margaret Court, who has 24. And this is men's, women's combined.
Yeah.
Or Alcaraz would be at number 4,
Hmm.
which means he would have overtaken Murray and Stan Wawrinka.
Hmm. Yep.
That would mean, I think, he would be number 4. Because number 4, I'm talking, actually, no. In terms of the active players right now, he would be
Yeah.
number on the list.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Fed retired, obviously, and
Yep.
Nadal probably will
He's
retire,
practically retired. Yeah. Yeah.
which is great for Alcaraz. So I hope it's a great match.
Yep.
Now, speaking about WTA, I'll let you lead this.
Yeah.
What are your memories from some of the
Yeah.
classic women's Wimbledon matches?
Yeah. So the two matches that come to my mind are like the Venus Williams final against Davenport, and one of the matches, I think it was 1999, the emergence of Martina Hingis. That match, I remember she played Novotná in the Jana Novotná. I think she was from the Czech Republic in the final. And
Yeah.
Novotná was known to be an amazing, she could cover the net amazing. She would just get to the net and very difficult to pass her. And Hingis was getting far behind in that final. No clue what's going on and down a set. And then she came back and she was able to turn that match around. These two finals really stand out in my memory.
Um, glad you brought up Yana Novotná. She's no
Yeah.
more, unfortunately.
Yes. Yes.
She did after Martina Navratilova,
Yes.
who is, I believe, she's Czech by birth, but she's
Right.
American. I think the Czechs have, done themselves proud. Yana Novotná was a great player on grass,
Yeah.
and
Amazing. Yeah.
unfortunately, she passed away. But the last 2 years, Czech girls, what's her name?
Yeah.
Wondrusova,
One Rosova. Yeah.
Wondrusova, as well as this morning's winner,
Yep.
uh,
Krejcikova.
Krejcikova,
Yes.
as she tributed her win to Yana
Yep.
Novotná. So it's good to see some Czech
Yeah.
players do well for the country. It was an unexpected women's final this year.
Yeah.
No one predicted this, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway, coming back to the previous years, I think growing up, I really enjoyed Steffi Graf.
Yeah.
He was outstanding on the surface. Um, after Steffi Graf, there was she dominated for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Venus. I believe Lindsay Davenport has
Lindsay won. Yeah. And I think Sharapova also has a couple of titles.
Sharapova may have won one.
Yeah.
Lindsay Davenport had won a couple, I think.
Yeah.
Venus, Venus was actually much better grass court player
Yeah.
between the two sisters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was always excited to see her enthusiasm and energy and her winning grand. That was really nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching Venus, and then of course Serena won a bunch.
Yeah.
I was looking, I think the last 7-8 years or something like that. I think there's been a different winner in
Yes.
Wimbledon
Past
It,
8 years, yeah, there was a completely different winners each
it's
year.
it's been like the most unpredictable slam in the way
Yes,
that there is no like a player has not won 2 consecutive years,
yes,
which is great for women's tennis in a way, but it
yep,
also shows the unpredictability of the
yes, yeah,
of the results, and generally not many girls are winning two in a row. But
yep,
Paulini is a great talent.
yep,
She reached the French Open final and the Wimbledon Open final.
yep.
What were the shocks to you? Was Iga losing early a shock?
I don't know if it was a shock. This is not her strongest surface, and and I think her opponent really played well. So, like, it can happen. Like
Yeah,
she's pretty much one of the all-time greats on the way to become an all-time great on the clay courts for sure. That's where she grew up, and that surface is, I guess, it suits her so much. It suits her fast footwork, light. She moves so light, and her all court game, and she's so quick to the ball. Wimbledon maybe doesn't reward that type of a game, but I'm sure she'll eventually figure it out.
yeah. I think the girls today are like all court players, honestly, mostly.
Yes, yes,
Same with the men's. I mean,
yeah,
there are very few players. Like, for example, this year, Musetti made the semifinals.
yes,
It
yes.
was great for Italian tennis because I think they're emerging,
Lots of
but
these
he
guys.
was
Yeah,
not expected to make it because
yep,
he's more of a clay court guy, right?
yep,
So
yep.
he played some really good tennis. I think from looking at the draw initially, I thought, oh, I think we're going to get a Sinner versus Alcaraz semifinal, right?
Yeah,
But unfortunately, for Sinner, he was a little bit sick on the day he
mm,
played the quarterfinal match with Daniil Medvedev,
yep,
and Medvedev played probably one of his best grass court games I have seen.
mm, okay,
Incredible 5 sets.
mm,
That was a great win for Daniil, and he pushed Alcaraz. I think
yeah,
he had a pretty good tournament, I would say.
yeah,
Not his strongest surface, but I think he definitely made improvements to his game. I think he did really well. So, and I think Taylor Fritz had a pretty good
yeah,
Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul both had good tournaments.
yep,
But the guy who I was expecting fireworks from, unfortunately, he had a tough draw was Ben Shelton because I
yeah,
think his game probably suits the grass court more. But look forward to him doing
yeah,
really well in the
yeah,
years to
sure,
come.
yeah. So
What's
yeah,
your
and my biggest thing is Novak, man. I mean, we all know that he's great. He's a goat. But for someone to have surgery like 4 weeks, he pulled out of the Roland Garros quarters, and then to have surgery like in a day or two, and then recover from it and play with a brace. I mean, it's just truly incredible. Like, so he actually, as he was building up towards Wimbledon, he put out some few training videos of him, with the brace and training and stuff like that. And I thought I mean, I thought that he would not make it past the third or fourth round because, people, it's not easy to recover. But apparently the man has just figured something out. So,
so what I heard was, so meniscus tear, right? So at
yes.
least it was not an Achilles tear or something like that.
No,
So
so there are
meniscus,
different types. What I saw a video that was circulating on social media, and maybe I'll link it. We'll link it.
yeah,
That
yeah,
there
yeah.
are different types of meniscus tear. One is, and he may have had the one has pretty non-invasive surgery,
Yeah,
but
that's the
still,
one.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the one because he
yeah,
he spoke in a post match conference.
yeah,
Um, Contacted Taylor Fritz right after
right,
he got injured and he pulled out of the French Open. And Taylor Fritz had a very similar injury and he was able to recover and come
right,
back in within weeks.
yeah,
So I think that's what he was saying. Novak was saying that gave him a lot of confidence that he could
right,
actually compete at Wimbledon.
yeah,
But you're right, though. I mean, at the back of your mind, I'm sure he has a worry that, oh, I could like aggravate something.
yeah, and especially on
And
grass, when you're slipping around, yeah,
oh yeah, there's too many people are slipping around, right? I
yeah,
mean, it was kind of crazy. First of all, two things is I saw a lot of people slip. There were a lot of retirements this time,
yeah, yeah,
and I think a lot of matches could be a record. Don't, I can't be 100% sure about this, but I felt like I heard it on the commentary that there was a record number of 5 set matches this year.
yeah,
So it's getting close between players. Like
yeah,
there's not as much of a talent discrepancy as it may seem, because a lot of matches are close, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, injuries is something you can't really avoid. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and I have to
De
agree.
Minaur, Alex De Minaur. Yeah, he could, poor guy. He couldn't like start his
Yeah,
quarterfinal because of hip injury.
he couldn't. He
Yeah.
he pulled something. Then Grigor Dimitrov had to retire against
Yeah.
Daniil Medvedev
Yeah.
in the first set. So obviously, there has been unfortunate cases of retirements, injuries. But I again credit to Novak. He managed his injury and he's able to make it to the final.
Yeah.
Now the question is, what's your prediction?
Uh, I feel Alcaraz may win this. I mean, uh, going like he's going to push Novak, and I don't know if it goes to a five setter, if Novak will be able to withstand. But that's just it's not a prediction, but like Andy Roddick says, bet against the greats at your own peril. But I,
Yeah,
I still think that Alcaraz has a slight advantage.
I think the advantage of the youth, fitness,
Yeah,
especially if it goes to a fifth again, I think
yeah,
he holds the advantage.
yeah,
I think obviously, like a very cliched statement, the first set is important.
yeah,
And Alcaraz dropped a couple of first sets actually
yeah,
back to
yeah,
back.
yeah.
He dropped against Tommy Paul. He dropped against Daniil Medvedev.
Yes.
So you never know. I
Yeah,
think I think Novak has the experience, but you saw Alcaraz was able to handle him last year.
yeah, yeah.
So I predict Alcaraz win in four, but we'll see, right?
Yeah.
By the
Yeah,
way,
I hope I mean what I'm trying to say is that I think the his probably game plan is to keep Novak guessing, play a lot of drop shots, make him move diagonal and keep him off balance. So let's see how if he's able. He did that very well last year in the last year's final.
yeah.
So
He's a smart guy, and
yeah.
also quickly want to mention that I believe there was the longest men's doubles match,
Oh yes,
the final
today. Yeah. And it was
today.
followed by the women's finals. Two was a very long three setter. I think the American Taylor Townsend. I think she and uh, her and Siniakova, they won the doubles. It was a long final too. So
You're
that
talking
was
about the women's
the
doubles, right?
women's doubles finals. Yes, yes.
Great. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good input. Yeah, I feel like
yeah,
we should talk a little bit more about doubles. Maybe
yeah.
one day we can
Mhm.
have a conversation
So on
for our viewers on how do you
doubles.
how do you play effective doubles?
Yes, we should. Yeah.
Maybe we can invite a couple of our. In fact, I have some friends who have played at a very high level who can probably talk a little bit about doubles and some of the strategy and how do you effectively kind of navigate through a match in a doubles kind of setting, right? So I think I it would be nice to talk a little bit more about doubles. But anyway,
Yep.
I I
Yeah.
I think we're looking forward to the US Open Master Series coming up
Yep.
after this. It's
Yeah.
sadly the grass court season is very short.
Yeah.
They need to lengthen it, I feel.
Yeah.
Uh, and next is the hard court season. So looking forward to that. And what are your other any other specific um, memories, comments about grass court tennis in general or Wimbledon?
Nothing much in particular. So it's just that, yeah, just the interesting thing you mentioned that the grass court season is very short. Like I
Yeah,
think it's a very good point actually. They barely get one or two tune-up tournaments. It's like 5 to 7 weeks grass court season. That's barely enough. No wonder you see a lot of these. You do see a lot of upsets and new slam champions and things like that. So.
very true.
But the reality is they can't fit in any more tournaments. The schedule is already packed. The ATP and WTA side. So
I
I don't know.
wish I wish what they could do is to um, make the grass court season a little bit longer. Maybe start Wimbledon mid-July till the end of July,
Mm-hmm.
and then that would mean that you have the
Yeah.
uh, June and July be grass court dedicated to
Mm.
grass court, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like there is a lot of gap between Australian and French. And
Yes.
then the French and Wimbledon, even though I know they pushed it back a year this year, is a little bit, crammed together.
Yeah.
And then right after July, it's like bang, 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 hardcore season. And then end of August is the US Open, right?
Yep. Yep.
So they
And then
need,
after that, it builds towards
wish
the
they could
the year
spread
end,
it
year
out.
end. Yeah. Yeah.
If they could spread it out a little bit, I think it would be good because, at the end of the day, a lot of these players are traveling, they're playing in a lot of tournaments, and just management of their bodies is crucial. So, um, I mean, eventually with tennis hackery, one of the things we want to promote is, like we always say, wholesome tennis, right? There's so many aspects of tennis, mind, body, meditation, whatever it is. It's an important element is making sure that your body is healthy to be able to fit in like such a demanding tennis season.
For sure. Yep. Yep. And it goes down to all levels, all the way up to the amateur, the juniors. For
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely,
It's a
absolutely.
year-round sport.
And it's something that I know we kind of spoke about injuries already and how to
Yeah.
kind of make sure that you don't get injured, how
Yep.
to diagnose through it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's been fun,
Yep.
Tarun. I
This is a
think
great discussion. Yes.
I enjoyed talking about Wimbledon, grass court tennis. Just wish there are more grass court over
Yep.
here in NorCal, and would love to be at Wimbledon someday watching live tennis at center court.
For sure. Yep. Yes, and I guess with that we come to the end of episode 9. As usual, please do give us a follow uh, on all our social channels. We are on Instagram, X, Meta, YouTube, and Spotify. At Tennishackery with a Y is our handle. Please like, share, subscribe, and do leave us reviews and comment wherever you can. So thank you so much for joining us on episode 9. We will see you soon. Bye.
All right, bye, guys.